out our shirt on Teespring.
Hey there, America. It's your old pal Jimmy Kimmel here. So the other night, former President Trump gave a speech. Big surprise, right? Well, he said some pretty crazy stuff, even for him, like really out there. He started ranting about government spending, which is a classic Trump move. But then he went off the rails. He claimed that President Biden spent a whopping $8 million on making mice transgender. Yeah, you heard that right. Transgender mice. Now I know what you're thinking, Jimmy, did he really say that? And the answer, my friends, is a big fat yes. He actually said it. In front of Congress. On live TV. I mean, come on, man. Even for a guy who once suggested injecting bleach to cure COVID, this is a new low. It's like he's trying to win some kind of most ridiculous statement ever award. And honestly, he might just be in the running. Okay, so before we go any further, let's clear up some confusion, because I think Trump might need a little help with his vocabulary here. He seems to be mixing up the words transgenic and transgender. And trust me, those are two very different things, like apples and oranges different, or maybe more like apples and, I don't know, a plate of fried chicken different. You see, transgenic refers to something that's been genetically modified. Scientists use transgenic mice in research all the time. They're super important for studying diseases and developing new treatments. They help us understand how genes work and how they affect our health. It's groundbreaking stuff. Transgender, on the other hand, refers to a person's gender identity. It's about how someone feels inside, whether they identify as male, female, or something else, and it has absolutely nothing to do with mice or any other animals. So, yeah, Trump totally botched that one. I mean, it's almost impressive how badly he messed it up. It's like, he heard the word transgenic and just assumed it had something to do with gender identity. Which, come on man, do your homework, or at least have someone on your team who knows how to use Google. Naturally, I couldn't let this one slide. I had to address it on my show. I mean, it's my duty as a comedian to point out when the former leader of the free world says something utterly ridiculous. So, I did what I do best. I made fun of him. I explained the difference between transgenic and transgender to my audience, in a way that even a 5-year-old could understand. And then I just let the jokes fly, because honestly, what else can you do in a situation like this? You gotta laugh to keep from crying. Now, I'm all for a good laugh, but even I have to admit, there's a serious side to this whole thing. And thankfully, my friend Rachel Maddow was there to cover that. She went on her show and absolutely tore Trump a new one. She pointed out how dangerous it is to spread misinformation, especially when it comes to science. Rachel explained that Trump's comments could have real-world consequences. They could lead to people distrusting important scientific research. They could even put funding for that research at risk, and that's just plain wrong. We need to be supporting science, not attacking it. Because, at the end of the day, science is about finding solutions to real problems. It's about improving people's lives, and that's something we should all be able to get behind. You'd think that after being called out by me, Rachel Maddow, and pretty much everyone else with a brain, the Trump team would have backed down. You'd think they would have said, okay, maybe we made a mistake. Our bad. But nope, they doubled down. They actually defended Trump's comments. They put out a statement saying that the Biden administration had indeed spent millions of dollars on transgender animal experiments. They even cited some specific NIH grants as proof. But here's the thing, those grants weren't about making mice transgender, they were about studying things like hormone therapy and its effects on various diseases. Actual science. It was like they were trying to twist the facts to fit their narrative, and honestly, it was just sad. Section 6. The importance of fact-checking. This whole transgender mice debacle is a perfect example of why fact-checking is so important. In today's world, we're bombarded with information from all sides. It's hard to know what to believe. That's why we need to be critical thinkers. We need to question everything. And most importantly, we need to check our facts. There are tons of great resources out there that can help us separate fact from fiction. Websites like PolitiFact, FactCheck.org, and Snopes are doing amazing work. They're dedicated to holding politicians accountable for their words. They're like the superheroes of truth. And we need them now more than ever. Section 7. The dangers of misinformation. Because here's the thing. Misinformation is dangerous. It can have serious consequences. It can erode trust in institutions. It can sow division and discord. And in some cases, it can even lead to violence. We've seen this time and time again. From the Pizzagate conspiracy theory to the January 6th insurrection, misinformation has fueled real-world harm. And when it comes from people in positions of power, it's even more dangerous. Because when leaders spread lies, it gives permission for others to do the same. It normalizes misinformation, and that's a very slippery slope. Section 8. Science as a political pawn. What's particularly troubling about the transgender mice situation is that it shows how science can be used as a political pawn. Trump and his allies weren't genuinely concerned about government spending on scientific research. They were trying to score political points. They were trying to appeal to their base by tapping into transphobia and fear of the other. This is a dangerous game to play. Science is not a matter of opinion. It's not something that can be twisted to fit an agenda. It's based on evidence, on facts, on the scientific method. And when we start politicizing science, we undermine its credibility. We make it harder for people to trust the experts. And that's a recipe for disaster. Section 9, the bigger picture. So, yeah, the transgender mice thing was pretty messed up, but it's also part of a much bigger problem. We live in a time where misinformation is rampant, where facts are often dismissed as fake news, and where science is increasingly under attack. We need to do better. We need to be more discerning about the information we consume. We need to hold our leaders accountable for their words and actions. And we need to stand up for science in the pursuit of truth, because at the end of the day, our future depends on it. Thanks for listening, folks. And remember, always fact check.